Dragon Ball Z is one of the most important anime to have existed. It is the sequel to the anime version of Dragon Ball. Its first complete story arc would give us the Saiyan arc, which this arc follows the time skip of the previous incarnation of Dragon Ball, in which our heroes had at this point dealt with every possible threat the planet Earth could bring us. And now, in this story arc, our heroes find themselves dealing with an alien invasion. In this video, we're going to explore the themes of this arc and try to decipher some of the messages that this particular story is trying to tell us. The first major theme of this arc is dealing with change. Now, change can be defined as modifying or replacing an already existing person or thing. And the things that are changed in this arc are monumental. Now, for those people that watch the original Dragon Ball, Goku had always, up until that point, been portrayed as an innocent monkey boy who lived in the woods and just went out exploring with his friends and people he met along the way. So to go from that to finding out that he's an alien that was designed to extinct the entire planet essentially changes the whole dynamic of the entire story that people had been consuming up until this point. And it's incredibly insane to see how that plays out, especially if you were a reader who was into the story as it was coming out weekly. Change also applies to Piccolo and Gohan in this arc as well. Now, for those of you that do not know, Piccolo in the previous story arc had been one of the major antagonists. In fact, he was the final major antagonist of the original Dragon Ball anime. And throughout the Saiyan Saga, the Saiyan arc, the first arc of this new anime, he changes from an evil villain to someone who cares about, Gohan, Goku's child. And this happens through the way that Piccolo is able to interact with Gohan because he needs to train him for the upcoming threat. Gohan, as Piccolo states when he gives his life up for him, is one of the first people to not treat him like a monster and to instead treat him like someone worthy of treated well. And Piccolo is able to reciprocate those feelings, and he's able to become a better person for it. Gohan also changes as well, as when he's first introduced into this arc, he's introduced as a pampered child who was never really went out much. He was introduced as a child as the complete opposite of everything that his father was as a child. Gohan was a kind of child that was afraid of a lot of things. He would stay inside a lot. His goal in life was to be a great scholar, whereas his father, Goku, as a child, just went out on adventures. And seeing the changes that both Piccolo and Gohan go through serves to just highlight what this arc is trying to say about how important being able to adapt to the situations that life throws at you is. The second theme of this arc had to deal with responsibility. And it's fitting that this thing comes after change, because in a sense, taking responsibility is usually the optimal way to respond to changes in life. When Goku falls protecting the planet from his brother, he opts to take, instead of going to heaven, which he is technically qualified for in the afterlife, he opts to train with a great master to come back to help his friends defeat the even stronger Saiyans. Same thing applies to his son as well. When Gohan, who, mind you, at this point was still used to his pampered life as an innocent boy, even though he does not deserve to have such a harsh life, he's given the option of running away back to his mom for safety instead of continuing his training with Piccolo. And through gritted teeth, knowing that accepting the responsibility that he has, that at least he feels like he has, to the planet and to his father and to especially his mother at this point, he opts to come back to finish his grueling training with Piccolo. All this at the age of just 5. So the third theme of this arc is the theme of potential. And potential is defined as having or showing the capacity to become or develop into something greater in the future. And theme serves as the main reason as to why Gohan is involved in this plot. Despite his very, very lax upbringing in comparison to Goku in terms of being a fighter, Gohan has significant amount of potential, and this is shown in the battle against Raditz when Goku and Piccolo were not able to really do anything against Raditz, and then Gohan, who mind you is only 5 years old, was able to critically damage him. This potential, which Piccolo notices, is the same potential that is the same reason why Piccolo decided to take Gohan under his wing by force. However, the theme of potential is also explored through the dichotomy of Goku and Vegeta. So, in Goku's case, in the Saiyan society that they live in, Goku was dubbed as a low-class warrior, which is why he was sent off to planet Earth to pretty much waste away and become nothing. Whereas Vegeta was born, when he was considered to be the cream of the crop, the absolute pinnacle of his race's potential. And because of this, Vegeta saw absolutely no use for Goku. Same thing with his underling Nappa, and same thing with Goku's brother Raditz, who, mind you, was also a low-class warrior in and of himself. And Goku, who was unable to deal with him at the beginning of the story, even with help. And Goku, in less than a year, was able to multiply his power 20 times fold. And you can kind of see this because even despite the fact that Vegeta is twice as strong as Goku is, Vegeta had never trained a day in his life, whereas Goku was able to go up to almost 60% of his power in less than a year. And this is why Vegeta, when they're throughout their fighting, is starting to have a mental breakdown because he cannot comprehend why someone who he perceives as trash is able to give him any kind of real challenge. And that is when Vegeta really starts to develop his one-sided obsession / rivalry with Goku, because he cannot get over the fact that a so-called low-class trash warrior is able to best him in combat. This is also shown when Nappa, who's considered to be mid-class, is completely and utterly shocked at the fact that Goku is decimating him. So, both Goku and Vegeta's case shows that potential is not the only thing that matters. It's about how you actually use it, and that anybody, despite whatever potential they are marked as, can ascend if they truly put in the work. Whereas Gohan is there to show what untapped raw potential looks like, and how you harness that potential if given the right circumstance or the right catalyst. The last theme that the story arc talks about, or at least that I want to reference for this video, is of friendship. And this is shown specifically through Goku, Vegeta, as well as Piccolo and Gohan. So we'll start with Piccolo and Gohan. As I've already referenced them, their relationship a couple of times and how it changes in this arc. Piccolo goes from being an evil villain when the arc begins to becoming a good guy who's willing to sacrifice himself to protect his friend, and which stems from that friendship that he bonded with Gohan over. And reciprocally, Gohan goes from a pampered child, scared of to face the world, to essentially a hardened warrior who is able to take on all comers and do his best. So that's how friendship affects those two. Now, when you get into Vegeta, Vegeta does not care about any of his comrades. When Raditz dies to Piccolo and Goku, he immediately disregards Raditz as trash, despite having an opportunity to revive his fallen comrade. He shows absolutely no remorse and no initiative to do that whatsoever. When they get to Earth and they're dealing with the Z Fighters, after Goku beats up Nappa, Nappa's on the floor, essentially defeated, and Vegeta through literally no hesitation, just decides to kill Nappa right then and there, simply because he had the audacity to get hurt. That is the complete opposite of what Goku would do and how he treats his friends. Goku trains and gives up essentially going to heaven to come back to life to save his friends. He tells his friends to get away because he doesn't want to risk them fighting against Vegeta. And that belief that he has in his friends, that way that he treats them, honestly comes back in a positive way. When Vegeta transforms into a great ape and crushes Goku, Goku should have died right then and there. However, because of the kindness that he showed his friends, Krillin, Gohan, and even Yajirobe came to his aid when he needed them most. And through their help, he was able to finally put an end to Vegeta and send Vegeta packing. Now, Vegeta, like I said, is the opposite of that. And consider this, if Vegeta had left Nappa alive, even if at the very least just not killing him, he probably would have ended up winning this fight because Nappa would have also became a great ape, and 2 great apes would have been way too much for the group to have handled. So that just goes to show how important friendship and cooperation can be, outside of just being a bunch catalysts for corny speeches, because in the end, the heroes' friendship with each other is essentially what saved them from certain doom. Well, alright guys, that concludes my video for today. Let me know how you interpreted the Saiyan Saga. What kind of messages and themes did you take away from the story? If you guys enjoyed the video, please don't forget to like the video, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, and there will be more analysis videos like these for the upcoming Dragon Ball arcs, as well as any other animes that you guys would like me to do. So thanks for watching the video, and do not forget to have a good day.